and welcome to PodCast, the first episode of PodCast. Now, just to clarify, the name is PodCast. Translate that for them. PodCast. Now, this bit over here, the LBP bit, yeah, that's just for screen names, so yeah, forget about that. It's PodCast.
You better pick that up later.
Anyway, so, this is going to be a weekly podcast with new episodes coming out on Mondays, and we are going to have 4 picks a week. The 4 different picks that we have are the Durman pick, which is mine, the JK pick, which is his.
Not a joke.
Which is his. the podcast pick, which is what we both think is a really good level, so our dual pick, and the M&M pick, which is the movies and mini-games pick. Because not a lot of mini-games and movies really get a whole lot of screen time when it comes to reviewers, so we want to make sure that versus levels and cinematics both get seen and reviewed and whatnot. And we're after those, we're also going to have news if we have any, fan art if we have any, sticky notes, which is what we are going to we're going to give miniature tutorials for Little Big Planet. Nothing big and fancy, just little tips and tricks that we think are handy. And then finally, we're going to have Comets and Craters, or CNC, which is ideas that we have for DLC, stuff that we'd like to see. Now, odds are absolutely none of it will ever actually get made, but we can dream. That's what the entire game's based off of. But anyway, since the PSN is down right now, as of today, still, we're going to do story levels today as opposed to actual community levels. And it only makes sense. Nobody ever reviews the story levels, but they're levels just like all the rest. They're made the exact same way, except they have slightly better recording equipment than most people. Slightly. But anyway, moving on. First we have the JK pick.
Okay, now, it's odd to pick an Avalon one, because most of his levels, as far as I'm concerned, kind of lame. But I picked Flying in the Face of Danger, which I have a love for retro-style games, top-down, Space Invaders, stuff like that. Always been my love, and I love making them too. But they did a good job of pulling that off, using anti-grav on the water. Definitely added that, and a lot of people need to do that themselves. They did a nice effect adding a camera twist partway down, which somewhat changed the gameplay, but not too much where you had to panic and learn something new. The only problems, and this has occurred to me more than once, is that I get crushed when there's nothing to crush me. If I go through a gap as the gap's opening or things like that, I blow up. I'm very prone to that. But the level itself, really good, if not repetitive. 5 minutes of flying a bee in a straight line is a... Do I want to say that? Beeline for the obvious?
Yeah, it works.
Okay, yeah.
Making a beeline through Avalon's little city of Avalonia.
Yeah. Just beeline out. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up is the Durman pick. Now, I decided to pick Brainy Cakes from Victoria von Bathysphere's Craft World. Now, what I really liked for, just instant you go into the level, the music. I love a good acapella, and the interactive music for Victoria von Bathysphere is great. Turn everything down, turn the acapella up, makes me happy. If anything, I wish that they would have kept it more through the levels and get the part where you turn up the guitar and whatnot. Anyway, I also... What?
Fox playing in my head.
Ba da 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 da. Using cake as a weapon is also something that I think is just hilarious, just in pure concept. It's not always you can be helping somebody play a game, like calling out suggestions, say, okay, pick up that cake. Okay, now throw it at the bad guys. It doesn't always work, but in this game it does. Just throw it at the enemy brain, it bounces off, you catch it in midair and keep going, use the same cake as long as you can.
You're a lot better than me at that.
Yeah, I'm awesome at brainy cakes. But anyway, in fact, I think that there should be a pin or a trophy or something for getting through brainy cakes while only using 2 cakes.
One of the few levels that can actually deserve its own pin.
Yeah, because you can get through the level only using 2 cakes. I mean, you have to get rid of one. Like, halfway through, you get that bit where you go down, I guess from your direction, you go down this way, and you have to bounce off the bouncy pads and whatnot. Yeah, that's the only cake that you actually have to get rid of. But, yeah, that's just a personal thing that I'd like to have because I love brainy cakes. Anyway, the only thing that I really don't like about that level is the slow parts. When you're hanging from the cake on the little railings and there are spiked thingamajigs coming up at you.
Not good for 2-player either.
Not good for 2-player. If you have too many people on that map, there's just plain not enough room. You have to like go in 2 sections and then the camera is off. So that is kind of annoying. Anyway, that's my pick for the week. Now for the podcast pick, what we both like. And that would be the boss level of the Factory of a Better Tomorrow, Foul Play. It's very challenging level. I mean, what?
That was lame.
I know, but anyway, it's a very challenging level. You pretty much have to ace it unless you're playing multiplayer in order to beat the level. And the replay is a requisite if you want to get everything.
We went through at least 100 plays, probably trying to get that first ball.
Between the 2 of us, definitely.
Yeah.
Because like you get those 3 layers that you have to like get exactly the right swing with your grappling hook, only to get up that high.
Good training though.
Oh yeah, it's a very good grappling training. If you're still having troubles with the grappling hook, I suggest Foul Play because you have to in order to get everything. Now that also is some of the inherent problems with the level. If you make one mistake, you can die. But on the other hand, if you don't go after any of the other doodads and whatnot, you just keep running, you pretty much are invincible.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Too easy in that respect.
And actually, at the same time, if you're too good with the grappling hook, I've had this happen a couple times. We both had this happen a couple times. You swing really fast, you get launched forward, and then you leave the turkey in the dust, and it's gone.
I've actually had the problem, though, where if I fall behind, I'll get too close to the turkey near the end. And when Clive actually pulls the lever, the chicken turkey falls on me. He actually crushes me, and then I get game over because I didn't activate the scoreboard because it's behind me.
Yeah.
Good trick, though, with the fake scoreboard.
Oh, yeah,
I fell for it
it's a very...
first time.
It's a very tricky level. It's awesome. Anyway, and actually that brings up one of the last thing about this particular level.
It's a chicken.
It's a chicken, not a turkey.
A lot of bad jokes could have been made, but mainly because at the beginning you notice that when he breaks out of the cage, there's chicken stickers all over the cage. So I have to assume that they intended this to be a chicken and they just didn't want to run with it because of the very fun jokes that could have been made.
Indeed.
But, yeah.
But anyway, now for our M and M pick.
Love this level.
Head chopping. One of the first levels that you unlock, like with an actual mini-game key, in the game, is pretty much the best one in the game.
Yeah.
There's extremely good use of jump pads. Very good format. I mean, I've made my own versions of this sort of level.
Seen a lot of good remakes on the community too.
Yeah, very good remakes. Just very simple concept, but it's very blank slate. It's like you have your basic concept there, but you could very easily plug in all kinds of stuff to make it a huge deal and very cool.
Yeah, nice change-ups. Pretty good pace, though. I feel like there's a bit of a curve.
Yeah.
Personally, I can't do the electric gears. I suck at the electric gears. I'm awful.
Yeah, when the electric gear shows up, he starts to have trouble. I didn't have trouble the first time, but then again, I didn't know that those gears were there for the longest time.
I think I panic.
Yeah, could be. Just make one little mistake and you fall down a pit as opposed to landing on that jump pad.
Though one person isn't a fan of something in particular, which I don't mind.
Yeah. But the thing that really gets us about that level is the color scheme.
Him more than me.
Mostly me. I mean, glowy green background with pink fog on either side.
The pink fog I don't like, but I mean, the pink works with the level, but the green in the background adds a bit of a contrast.
They kind of clash.
Jumping through a watermelon.
Yeah, watermelon hopping. That's what the level should be called.
I do enjoy the little description saying that the title itself is misleading because there's no hedges.
There should be a hedge at the end. Like this is where you stop, giant hedge that crashes into with spikes sticking out of it.
Yeah, just picturing that as you were saying it.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for our picks for this week.